the crazy global situation that's happening, and you see people sharing things, and we actually spoke about this because on the one hand, you don't want to be the one that's sharing bad news and kind of putting it in the forefront of all the craziness that's on the globe. But on the other hand, you want to make people feel that they should be aware of what's going on. Like, you need to talk about it so people can be aware. But then it feels like, okay, but what can you do about it really? And there's this situation where you see it's going on, but you don't know what to do. So that's the subject. And what can people do in in a nutshell? Of course, it's a big subject.
Okay. So the first thing to understand that when you see around major mystery, like major mystery, it does not make sense. Mm-hmm. The truth is that someone is taking over at the background.
So before you continue, by mystery, do you mean the idea that you're not sure what the heck is happening in the world? Is that the mystery?
Yeah, something do not add up. Why will someone will do that? And if there's a virus, why the curfew only at 10? What's the virus know at 9:45 to get ready? And and let's say that and I'm not saying there's no virus. Of course, there's a virus. But if they take for 1 week and they will say, okay, good, no problem, there's a virus. This is how many people die from that virus today. This is how many people die in accidents, cancer, AIDS,
pneumonia, flu. Yeah.
All of a sudden, you will see that it will be nothing. So there's a confusion because something do not make sense. Because from the one hand, it's really, really, really bad. Of course, the virus is bad. And on the other hand, there's so many other damages that happening in the world. Just how many people commit suicide because they lost everything.
True. Absolutely.
So when there's a mystery, when things do not make sense, when things just do not add up, and everyone trying to find out really what's happening. Why is it happening? What's happening? How are we going to get out of it? What's the story? You need to know that someone is taking over. That's the only reason there is a major mystery.
Okay, so when you say someone is taking over, that creates another good mystery. But I mean, obviously, I get what you mean. But you're referring not to there's a new U.S. president. What are you talking about? Tell me more.
Okay, so I think that that's a totally different subject of who is taking over and why. But the first thing to know is that someone is taking over, and someone powerful enough to control enough bodies of enough heads of governments at the same time.
Wow.
So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, go on.
So the first thing to understand is that it's not happening by mistake. It is something, it's not like an accident of, just there is a virus and things are bad and so on. When it was by mistake, whenever there was any kind of really bad viruses in the past, which we had quite a lot as humanity, from the Ebola to AIDS to many things that destroyed men, yes, much worse than the corona. If there was not someone behind them that wanted to create this confusion, the handling was different. The general viewpoint of governments is not to create history. Like this is the hysteria. Government generally is against hysteria. It's against hysteria. Government usually is, it's in Hebrew. Government generally
not against hysteria. I wasn't sure, but I see what you mean. That government is against hysteria. Generally, governments talk about calming down their people.
Calming down, relax. If they're actually hiding from you how bad the situation is. All of a sudden, they're doing exactly the opposite. They're promoting how bad the situation is. Something do not add up. There's a purpose here. Okay. And the real question is, what can what can people do about it? Let's say that there is something like that. So what can a person do? And that's
Exactly.
the whole trick. That's the whole trick. So this, it's I don't like it that I need, or that I'm going to give you this example because I'm Jewish, obviously. But Hitler, he was evil, but he was not stupid. Yes, he was definitely evil, but he was definitely not stupid. What Hitler
Yeah.
said is that if you want to control people, if you want to totally control the minds of people, make the lie so big that it will be unbelievable. So what does it mean? It means that if the lie is big enough, no one will suspect to look at the area that the problem really is where it is. Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
this tells you where to look at. And where the big lie is not that it's government or this or people from out of space or people from underneath the ground. It's not. The big lie is that one person and only one person throughout history changed everything because he decided that things should be different and he's going to set up a good example. And the lie is that you need a big movement, that you need hundreds of thousands of people or millions of people, and you need millions of followers that will watch your video and tell you that and support you, and maybe together, blah, 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 we'll do something. No. It's not. One person changing his mind and deciding that he is going to do something about it will create bigger effect than all the combined viral videos that ever been on history.
Wow. Okay. So that's amazing because it gives the feeling that, okay, maybe I can do something about it. For the person listening, they go, okay, maybe I can, even if I don't even have an Instagram account. Okay. But then,
Yeah.
so, but, and by the way, and I believe it to be true and it sounds great. But the question is, so how? Because I can't speak to more than 5 people at a time, let's say, so then what? And they don't want to listen.
Yeah.
So, what do you do?
Yes. So what do you do? Number one, you don't try to get them to listen.
Okay.
That's another part of the lie. What about if you really understand the other person? What about if you understand the other person that's terrified, the other person that think that it's really dangerous, the other person that's willing to give away his freedom for being afraid. So if you really understand that this other person is on your side, is not against you, even if he has a different opinion than you, even if his opinion according to you is not smart enough, if you can really duplicate that based on the overall limitations and freedoms that he has, that's the best he can do in an effort to survive. You will not get upset with him, ever. And if you will not get upset with him, something magical will happen. He will not see you as an enemy, and we are not trying to get him to change his mind. Like, you don't want to change his mind and you don't want him to change your mind, but the only thing that you want is that he will be able to see that he is not an enemy. And the moment that the person believes that he is not an enemy, when you make the environment a little bit less dangerous for him, automatically become a little bit more himself. And you yourself, the spirit, cannot make a mistake. You yourself, the spirit, cannot make something bad. You yourself, the spirit, cannot do anything else but be perfect. And all you have to do is to remove all the things that lie to you, all the big lies which tell you it's dangerous, and you are nothing. And if you remove this, it's dangerous, and you are nothing, which means I'm willing to accept what you say. I'm not a danger for you. At that moment, you help the other person and you help mankind. So every time you help one person, you took mankind and you removed just so much insanity from mankind. And after a few times like that, just something magical happened, and somehow mankind move away from being insane. Most of the people think that you fix things by force, but force creates just more force. But if you just become you, more understanding, more loving, more seeing the good in the other person, and even if you don't see the good, don't make him wrong. If you just able to understand that no one crowned you as the person that see the correct viewpoint, just let them have the viewpoint.
Right.
All of a sudden, the whole mankind changed, and you won, and everyone else won. So one person can save mankind.
Wow, that's amazing and beautiful and super true and applicable, because what you have right now is people that are doing the opposite. They think their way, and there's just these explosions between people. So no one gets calmed down. Everyone is against everyone. You're my enemy, you're my enemy. And
everyone thinks that he's been crowned by someone as he knows, and everyone else is just not as intelligent yet. And the truth is, everyone knows. The truth is, everyone knows. And the more you try to say that you know, what basically you do to others what you're trying to prove that they are wrong in doing. So if I say, well, I know and they don't understand, they said the same thing. I know, and you don't understand. And obviously you bought wrong. Why you bought wrong? Because the truth is, it's just a viewpoint. The truth
that's amazing.
The truth is the sum of all viewpoints. When you have all viewpoints without exception, you have the truth. Because if you're missing one viewpoint, you still have a lie.
Yeah, true. Yeah. It's like you're missing a tiny slice of the one piece of the puzzle. You don't have a complete puzzle. Exactly. Even if everything else is there. So it's really, you have to have every piece of the puzzle to see the full picture or the truth, the original, what is.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. I really like that. So, okay, we wanted something short and punchy for today. So just before we go, so people can have that viewpoint of, okay, I need to kind of calm the other side. I need to not push against them so hard, not use force. So what's just one tip that you can tell people, like, okay, just do this from now, just some practice to take away right now out of the whole concept?
Okay. So whoever you're in communication with, try to actually put yourself in their shoes. Like, try to be them for 5 seconds. You will see that your love, your affinity will grow to such a huge degree that you will not be able to do anything else but admire them. It is, if you take sometimes you see a movie and all of a sudden there's someone that looks really bad and things like everyone hate him, and all of a sudden you see the real story of what's happened, why he really did what he did. But like, it seems like he's a traitor and bad guy, and all of a sudden you see what he really did, and you are like, wow, he's so amazing. 2 minutes ago you hated him, you are ready to kill him. If you're really able to see the other viewpoint for 5 seconds, you will see that there's not one person on earth, one, that actually is very bad. People are good. They have things that make them look bad, but they are good. What will help you is if you'll be able to separate the people from what they say, the people from the actions, the people from the noise. Because if you could do that, what will happen? You will make the actions go away. You'll make what they say go away, and you will end up with this pure diamond that you would realize that cannot hurt a mosquito because it's so pure. All you
Wow.
have to do is to separate the person from what he said, the person from his action. And most people say, no, you know people by the action. True, you know the combination by the action, but you know the person by his intention, by separating him from his actions.
Wow. 100%. I agree. It's beautiful. And I like that you just see who are you currently WhatsApping or having a Facebook debate with, and just be in their shoes for 5 seconds.
Yes.
Just
Just
really
5 seconds.
understand them. Yes. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing.
And you see people change like that. They become amazing. They don't change. People become themselves like that. They don't change.
Yeah.
Actually, what was before was a change from them.
Yeah, exactly. You remove the other stuff and they come out.
Exactly.
I love that. I think
Thank
that
you.
was super powerful. And
Thank you, Bobby.
I think it's 20 minutes that everyone needs to watch or listen to. So yeah, that was amazing. So people need to share this. I think that people that are watching this, if everybody shares it and they get 2 people to watch it, the ripples will be amazing.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, that's a great mission.